Focal Chora 806 is a fantastic speaker. That's it. Go! Buy it! No, that's not all. You probably want to know why I would call this one my favorite budget speaker. And why indeed? When you have speakers like Bower's and Wilkins 600 with its much wider dynamic response, when you have Acoustics 3030i with its better controlled and deeper bass, or maybe something like Monitor Audio Bronze or Elac UniFi. These are all good options, and maybe someone will agree that they are better budget speakers. But when I hear the sound of Focal Chora and the way that sound opens in front of me, the way it presents its instruments to me reminds me of listening music live. And before I was a hi-fi enthusiast, I was trying every second of my life to be somewhere where you can find live music or jams. And I'm not saying that with these speakers you will experience that kind of sound. No. For that, you'll have to cash out a lot more money. Not just for speakers, but for good amps and sources to achieve not just openness, but dynamics and punch of that grand scale. But this is a gateway to that feeling. Your music that was up until that point much more boxed and streamlined, now is open and free. The way it places instruments and shapes them in this sonic stage is what audiophile magic is all about. And it is not a forced sound, its airiness holds a lot of details and presentation is very clear. So even if you are a detail peeper, there is something here for you. Where of course it trails behind the other budget champions is a sense of musicality and punchy dynamics. It could have more meat in a treble, as drive in the rhythmic section is not so memorable, punchy or dynamic. Bass is forward firing and it is decent. There is nothing more to be said, as other alternatives give more structured and commanding bass. But if I did not have other speakers to compare, I would not notice that and would probably be quite satisfied. As bass is there, bass is adding weight and fullness to it. It is good, only not a class leader. But to achieve that with all other perks that these speakers have, it would probably require more engineering and materials and therefore more expensive speaker. It is something that people who want more dynamic sound might little bit miss with Chora. It seems that I have been critical of Focal's dynamics, but I shouldn't have. The sound of Focal is balanced, and therefore there is no spikes in sound and everything seems even, which is a great thing. It is just that other competition offer more punch, musicality and dynamics, therefore that might be noticeable when listening to this speaker compared to some other speakers. But pair these speakers with an amp like Rega Brio, Cambridge Audio CX-A61 or something that has treble a bit spiked and they might push your speakers to become livelier. Listening to something beautiful like Nick Cave and the Ghosteen album, this speaker will smite you with beauty and lushness. And oh boy, that central imaging is just amazing. Nick's vocal was there in front of you, crooning, singing his poetry. The emotion in his voice is very charming, seducing, and levitating above earth that does not hold him anymore. You understand why I like this speaker so much. If I want to listen to the later Cure, Nick Cave, some Dead Can Dance, something with a lot of reverb, it will surround you, lift you up, and force you to stay whole day listening to your favorite music. And what more can you ask? And should I maybe say that it is also a low volume champion? Certain speakers need certain amount of volume to open up, but here the sound becomes open even at a medium volume. which is impressive on its own so much. Part of it is also because they are really easy to be driven. It won't require some expensive or strong amp to accommodate these speakers. And they are also really easy to be placed in a room. The design is so lovely. I had one with natural colors, with light wood. I just prefer speakers which are on the lighter side with wood accents. But something which looks really nice is a speaker's cone is blue marblish color, which looks very beautiful. And I'm sad that these speakers are no longer in my collection, as they are just a central piece of any decoration in your home. So let us compare with speakers that I listened that I think are also great in this range. Acoustics 3030i is a great speaker, very warm and punchy with impressive bass. It does not reach scale, depth, imaging of vocal, but is certainly more musical and punchy. So if you prefer sound to be more meaty, well, this one might be more for you. Similarly goes for Monitor Audio Bronze 200, which besides very good low end, cannot compare to these speakers, as to my ear, vocals sound much more refined and mature, even though Monitor Audio might sound a bit more entertaining. On other spectrum is Bowers and Wilkins 607, which are very live and bright sounding speakers. With so much punch and dynamics, they are completely different speakers than vocal. Of course, many people listening this side by side will choose Bowers and Wilkins, and there is nothing wrong with that. It is for people who at this level want a lot of dynamics and punch. But my problem with Bowers and Wilkins is that they require really careful system pairing, or the sound will become too bright and fatiguing. Elac UniFi is another great option. I spent only 2 weeks with these speakers as friend lent it to me. Maybe I'll ask him to give it to me again so I can review it. They seem really interesting as they did a lot of stuff good. Okay, no soundstage and imaging of vocal, but everything else was balanced and good. It had enough of everything: scale, dynamics, punch, etc. So as an all-arounder, it might fit your needs better. I think I did my best to verbalize my love for these speakers. I tried to make this review subjective and objective as much as I can. Try these amazing speakers at your local showroom. Take a bottle of wine, dim the lights, play your favorite tunes. Let vocal, immersive sound and imaging hug you and relax you to the point that even after a few hours of listening, you want more. If you are interested in a great amp for these speakers, click here. If you're interested in a great turntable, also click here. All the best. Bye.